Okay, today we are going to be talking about volunteer tourism with Ashley Martell.
And Bianca Cardozo.
What is volunteer tourism? It is viewed as encompassing those tourists who, for various reasons, volunteer in an organized way to undertake holidays that might involve aiding or elevating the material poverty of some groups in society, the restoration of certain environments, or research into aspects of society and environment.
The genre of tourism is best described as an element of justice tourism, as it may involve individuals from Western countries paying to come to the Third World to assist with development or conservation work, as they desire to achieve something more meaningful than a pleasure-filled or self-indulgent holiday. The volunteer tourism literature consists of debates surrounding voluntary development work by tourists. This can range from offering medical assistance, involvement in economic and social development, or even projects geared towards heritage and cultural restoration.
Volunteering to work with animals, veterinarian support, animal shelter, or animal rescue. Volunteer for a community project, the distribution of food, distribution of hygiene items, parks, and cleanup. Education, volunteer as tutors to teach kids English and other subjects. Sports volunteering, volunteers to promote and incentivize communities to play more sports and therefore exercise more. Volunteering in hospitals, volunteering contributing with medical assistance, providing healthcare at underprivileged communities. And here are a few images of U.S. volunteers helping out and volunteering.
Volunteerism began in the 1960s when the Peace Corps was founded. The Peace Corps is an independent agency and program of the United States government that trains and deploys volunteers to provide international development assistance. Since then, the number of those volunteers as a form of vocation have steadily increased. Each year, about 1.2 million volunteers participate in volunteerism.
A summary of our article. Our case study falls into the category of those organizations that link volunteer tourists to development work. The South Africa of Habitat for Humanity is a grassroots ecumenical Christian organization that works in partnership with communities to eliminate poverty through the provision of shelter. The core mission of Habitat for Humanity involves the construction of houses for poverty-stricken communities around the world.
So who contributes to volunteer tourism? According to the HSA records, the largest number of volunteers are from the USA, then there's a smaller group from Europe, and an almost equal share between male and female volunteers. The age profiles that the great majority early retirees in the age group of 50 to 59 years old. The next common group of volunteer tourists are typically younger, ranging from ages 18 to mid-20s, who could possibly be taking a break from work or school. A third smaller group is those of ages between 30s and 40s, who may be considering life changes. Then lastly, we have those who have retired and are still physically able to work with the constructions and projects. Then we have figure number 2, just showing the age profile of the volunteer, as I just mentioned. On figure number 3, we have the occupational profile of the volunteers, and figure number 4, showing the religious profiles of volunteer tourists at HSA.
The downside of volunteer tourism. Some believe the design of these programs perpetuates white saviorism, the problematic idea that minority communities must depend on white individuals to be rescued or saved. When unskilled white volunteers travel abroad to perform basic tasks, This promotes the toxic belief that locals can't complete basic tasks themselves. Locals develop a false sense of inferiority, but the volunteers develop a false sense of superiority, believing that locals are helplessness without their assistance. Reinforces the stereotypes that high-income nations hold against impoverished communities, causing them to spread these false beliefs outside of the host country.
So here's some examples of the case. Since its establishment in South Africa, the HFHSA has been responsible for the construction of approximately 1,000 houses. Housing construction takes place primarily in areas of poor settlement around South Africa's major urban centers, as Johannesburg, Durban, and Cape Town. A donation from friends in Northern Ireland allowed the establishment of a community gardening project at one HFHSA project that began in 1999 and has a total of 218 completed houses. Involvement was motivated by a number of factors, including helping the poor, meeting and interacting with like-minded people. Largely, people were motivated by experiencing other cultures. Only a small group of people were motivated by the issue of travel opportunities.
Examples of the world and USA. Of the world, volunteer tourism can involve travel to a variety of locations in Africa, Asia, Central and South America, including rainforests, cloud forests, conservation areas, and biological reserves. An organization example from our case study is the Habitat for Humanity and Habitat for Humanity of South Africa. In the USA, if someone is interested in spending time in the United States as a volunteer, for example, on an environmental church mission, homelessness, or disaster relief, or other project, they might be able to do so by applying for a B1 visitor for business visa.
So why is this important? For the volunteers, it is important to learn about important principles such as self-help and sweat equity, and also learn to give of yourself in a new and diverse global village. In addition to that, an important part of this experience is learning about the host community's culture, language, and social practices. Also, volunteers are able to build bonds, especially after September 11th, with the international community. And volunteers says that in my travels, I have noticed Americans often have a bad reputation. I believe my actions demonstrating a better view of Americans to those who may have never met one. For the community benefiting from volunteer work, the community benefits by being provided by new homes, supplies, and services. Also, the community gets to develop a relationship with the volunteers.
The top 4 volunteer abroad organizations. According to careeraddict.com, the top 4 volunteer abroad organizations are Plan My Gap Year, considered to have some of the most affordable volunteer abroad programs. This organization is among the most well-established ones out there. GVI, founded in 1998, is devoted to running sustainable development and exponential education programs, all of which are aligned with the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Maximo Nivel is an international accredited organization focused on delivering high-quality study abroad programs in Latin America. The 3 primary countries their programs take place in are Peru, Guatemala, and Costa Rica, but they also offer online opportunities. And number 4, Love Volunteers is an organization that prides itself on its cost-effective and transparent volunteering opportunities, offering placements across Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, and America.
So what does it bring to management of tourism? Well, the phenomenon of volunteer tourism is now a $3 billion a year industry. The money is also beneficial to local economies. And volunteerism is one of the fastest growing trends in travel. So volunteer tourism is a huge industry that brings people all around the world for a variety of reasons. As of any other type of tourism, it moves billions of dollars in the world and should be monitored and managed by its organization. As other types of tourism may not have a great impact as a volunteer tourism. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.